Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the ancestors past, present and future and welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies. Entertainment only, okay? Want to have a look a bit at US politicking at the moment. Oh my goodness, it's so exhausting. Same monkeys, different day, and I think I'm going to call Hegseth drunk as a raccoon from now on in. Um, Something else that came out over the weekend that I didn't mention in my last video is that the Australian government has introduced policy that under 16-year-olds are banned from social media. Social media meaning YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, Instagram, even online gaming, etc. They can still access. I do apologise. I haven't got a head cold. It's actually allergies at the moment. Spring in New Zealand. They don't actually. It okay. They can still see these sites if they are presented with them through. So, for example, for schools, you go, well, hang on. They use YouTube in schools for teaching. There's a lot of good stuff in YouTube. Um, if the teacher wants to show something on YouTube, the teacher uses their account and they can still show it. But basically, it's protecting the under 16-year-olds because social media in that tween, early teens, young developmental age is just been absolutely horrific for the mental health of our young people. And there's been some backlash, obviously, driven by the organisations who have had 20 years to sort it out and self-regulate, but no, there's money to be made. So there's been backlash, but what's happened since social media is there has been a real increase in body dysmorphia, both amongst young boys and young girls, and getting younger and younger. I mean, if you're having an 8-year-old on TikTok showing her, acid peel cleansing routine, how is that possibly healthy? But also the bullying, because, social media is everywhere. It's not like if you're being, targeted at school, you can go home and it's a safe environment, because social media is in the home environment too. And yes, there's been a backlash, but actually there's been a lot of really positive coming out from young people who understand the dangers of social media. Yeah, the dangers of social media as I split the deck. And it is very much about the protection and nurturing of our young people. So don't listen to the propaganda, and to tell you what, half the propaganda is probably coming from Nigeria, the prince in Nigeria or Eastern Russia or something, just putting it out there. So bravo to Australia. Next step, actually tax them, because all those big corporations, Meta, Google, X, Amazon, don't even pay any tax in Australia. They take the profits, billions and billions and billions of dollars of profits that they make every year off Australians, and offshore it into the Cayman Islands or the Seychelles or wherever they take it, and basically pay no tax anywhere. So yeah, 10%. 10% in the country of origin. Go for it. Okay, aside from that, let's have a look. That's my little soapy box for the morning. Hawk Podcasts did a really good video 4-minute video on this ban. Okay. Yeah, they've got their backup. Yeah, and as I'm splitting the backup against the wall with the guidelines that are now in place, feeling bruised and battered, good, because for them it's all about the money. Get them young. If you catch them young, then it's a bit like my daughter's high school. They were provided with free Apple computers. Gee, I wonder why. Because it captures them into the Apple network for life. Because they get the computers when they, start high school. What's that, 12? Something along those lines. They get the computers, Apple computer, which means when they want to get a phone, to be able to talk to the computer, they have to get an Apple phone. And then when they get a little bit older and they want the tablet as well, they have to get an Apple tablet. And then of course, because they got the Apple phone and the Apple tablet, the next computer has to be the Apple computer. It captures them into the market for life. And there's that devil again, as I keep splitting. And overseas, looking at what overseas are doing. So I think this is going to spread to other countries. Okay, but that's not what I was actually wanting to have a look at. I was wanting to have a look at some little New York politics today. Not New York politics, US politics. So apparently, Netanyahu is going to visit New York City. I couldn't find a date on it. I couldn't find a reason for it either, but apparently he's coming. Why is Netanyahu with this? So there's no explanation. Why New York? Why not in the middle of winter? Why not go to Florida, where he usually heads, where his son lives, to avoid conscription into the military, and where his best mate lives, the Orange Twerp? Why is he going to New York? Mamdani has threatened to arrest him if it comes after he is mayor, because he's wanted by the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity. Oh, there's stuff going on there as well. Apparently there is only one body left that is buried under the rubble to be returned to Israel after the destruction of Gaza. And then they'll move on to the next stage of the ceasefire. Well, it hasn't really been a ceasefire. I'm not quite sure when one side's still attacking the other, it's considered a ceasefire. This popped out. Something hidden that will be revealed that is insane. The lunacy of it. Why is Netanyahu visiting New York City? Why is he Okay, thank you. They've told me to stop shuffling, so I'll stop shuffling. This popped out, the moon card. Some secrets will be revealed, but there's something here where I'm really drawn to the other meanings of it, where starting on this long and arduous journey of lunacy. Now, I'm not saying Netanyahu is suffering from lunacy. Now, interestingly enough, 7th, I believe, is 17th of December is when Smith is supposed to start testifying. You won't get it all done in one day. 19th is when the Epps files are supposed to be released. I believe the 19th is that, the new moon. And then on the 19th is also when 3-eye Atlas, strangely enough, when there's a new moon, which means that the night sky will be very, very clear without the light of the moon. 3-eye Atlas is at its closest to Earth as well. So interesting timing coming up in the next 10, 11 days or thereabouts. So the moon card. Okay. Challenged by the fool. Foolishness. Walking off the cliff. Why is he coming to New York? And 2 major arcana straight out. Something being revealed. But why New York? I just heard because it's got a high Jewish population. But why would he think that would protect him? Challenged by just the foolishness of it. He thinks he's supported. He's had, okay, thank you. The energy he's stewing in is the circles of support. He's had some sort of communication that he will be protected and supported in New York. Don't ask me who from or why. I heard Jewish community. In the past, we've got the Queen of Wands, a new plan being formulated. Might be a female leader. Who's the, oh gosh, can't even think, but I think the New York State governor is a female. So she might have put the offer out there in the past, a plan. But you've got the all-seeing cat down here, which sees it for what it is. So why is he coming to New York? Because the energy over him is he knows he's done for the corruption charges in Israel. He knows he can't stop them any longer. This is almost like an escape out in the cold. The immediate future, looking for protection, looking for safety. A plan that was done behind the scenes. Internally, the devil. Ties, connections to the devil. I mean, the orange twerp hates the cold, so he won't be going to New York, but there's something here. Some sort of plan that was made. Dark money plan. Ties to the devil, the hopes and fears. Yeah, his abuse, his betrayal, his deceit, his win at any cost, okay, the outcome. The emperor, that's a wannabe emperor. Oh, Miller's Jewish as well. In the previous reading, the card was so obviously Miller. The emperor, presenting an opportunity. Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, but it's a stinky opportunity. You've got the Empress, who is very much, I mean, her traditional reading is about protecting, but it's stabbed in the back, betrayed, information coming in from overseas. It's going to turn into a nightmare for him in regards to the lies, deceit, the stealing. You've got the legal and the legal being presented. Okay, feeling a lot better about that. I'm wondering whether it's I mean, this emperor could be Netanyahu himself, my way or the highway. He starts all these conflicts to stay in office because they couldn't possibly hold an election while they're at war, and secondly, to prevent the court case going ahead. But I don't think he can stop it. So there's no date, but there's also no that I've been able to find. There might be a date by now. I looked over the weekend, but there's also no reason being given. So I'm getting the feeling that the governor of New York, because there's a high Jewish community there. Okay, so just keep an eye out on that. We'll watch that one too, but it's not going to work. I mean, you've got the betrayal, you've got the backstabbing, you've got the, all those horrible cards. Okay, let's have a quick look at Tennessee. Right, what was happening? The Democrat candidate was leading 52 to 47 or something along those lines. And then all of a sudden, at the last second, a whole heap of Republican votes came in, 31,000 of them, even though if you do the math, it should have been about 1,000, that threw out the auto recount. Ace of Cups, yep. There was an agreement, there was a partnership to do this, to flood the results. And there's the mercenary actions for the democracy. The mercenary actions for democracy. And then you've got, look, 3 knights. 3 knights on the bottom there. Let's have a look. Yeah, the mercenary actions to present, to flood the democratic process. The false knight, yes, they were bought in. However, you got the Knight of Wands. There is volatile information coming out about this from left field. The information's out there. It's I posted some of it in my post section last week. So follow the. Yep. Is there going to, so what happened is that the amount of votes that came in through the gap beyond the auto recount, and then the dude was voted in faster. The dude was sworn in faster than, I mean, he wasn't even allowed to go to the bathroom on the way in. Johnson couldn't get there in quick enough, but the abuse of power, harsh truth coming forward about what happened and the agreements, etc. The information is out there. I don't know. Nothing's going to be done about it under this current regime. But when the regime is gone, yes, this is why I keep seeing this interim government, because if it's just same old, well, win the midterms and replace the president, but you've still got all this happening in the states, and you've still got all this happening in the judiciary system. Okay, what I want to have a look at. So, yes, it was absolutely, and there will eventually be legal action about it, but I'm not seeing it straight away. It will be, okay, thank you. I'm being told it'll be part of a bigger legal action. Will it? Okay, I want to have a look. Okay, I could do a whole reading on that, as to whether it will affect, I'm going to put it this way. There's so much to get out there. I'm tripping over my own words. I notice a lot of readers are doing this. I feel that the Constitution is going to be pretty much rewritten. They'll take bits out of it. They're not going to rewrite the existing Constitution. I keep getting it's a new one. They will take out the good bits. Yeah, because it just doesn't work. And it just doesn't work. And it's been shown to not work. Okay. What else do I want to have a look at? Texas. The redistricting of Texas. Redistricting of... I haven't even looked at the news today, so I don't even know what today's headlines are. The redistricting of Texas. Is it going to turn... How's that going to work out for the Republicans? Oh my God, I'm in the light. Okay, let's have a look. The redistricting of Texas. Right. The star card, democracy under threat. How's it going to work out for... How's it going to work? Well, the redistrict, the challenge is, so democracy, the best of the United States, is its fair democratic system. Haven't had that since the Reagan days, since Reagan decided to have the work behind the scenes with, was it the CIA, to prevent the rescuing of the hostages, to manipulate the overthrow of Carter's second term, etc. Oh, goodness me. There's a lot of emotional disappointment in what happened. So how's it going to go for the Republicans? We've got here the Two of Wands. It's a plan that they've brought forward. They're looking at all their options, their plans. He's got his red hat on. So, yeah, it's a plan that they've implemented, and the Supreme Court backed them up. In the past, you've got the Hermit. Isolation, but trying to find a path forward, because they know they can't win without cheating. Crowning this reading, the King of Swords. Legal action, strategy, external strategy. So this is strategy pretty much. External strategy. They looked at their options, looked at their plans and said, yep, we'll do this one. It's gone through the legal process. The Supreme Court down the 6-3 line, as it always does, has ruled that it's okay. You can bet pounds to peanuts that the other states, like California, will be delayed through the court systems. But this Texas one, yeah, put it through. But how's it going to play out for them? So they've brought forward this strategy. However, this king is wearing blue. He's got red under his cloak, but he's wearing blue. So how's it going to play out for them? Well, there's a lot of information going to come out about this quite quickly. But it's going to be negative information because I'm asking about with the Republicans, the GOP, greedy old perverts. I don't think it's going to bode well for them against the blue sky here. Okay, I'm hoping that's just me. Huge wake-up call. Yeah, externally. It's going to be a huge wake-up call for the people of Texas. The false knight internally, bearing gifts, presenting it as if it's something wonderful. How's it going to work out for them though? Hopes and fears, a harsh truth, and this action with a backlash. Let's have a look. Ooh, infighting with the Five of Pentacles, Tower moment, and then having to decide how to amend this with the Two of Swords and the Eight of Wands, walking away. People are going to be put in a position of they have to decide whether they support this or not. And a lot are going to walk away from this blatant manipulation. It's going to be the end of the old white fart legacy era. And then we've got the Sun card, something joyful, fully exposed. They're putting themselves on full exposure. On the bottom, the underlying energy, the Queen of Pentacles. Those that took this action are not listening. They're in their gilded cage. The Falcon here is jessied and hooded, not listening to public opinion. It's going to be my way or the highway. Poor choices with smoke and mirrors. The legislators in Texas and their connections to the Empress. Okay, Queen of Swords. There might be some, I'm going to say this is Jasmine Crockett. They've tried to gerrymander her out, but I think they're going to find themselves out because it's a blatant abuse of power, and justice will eventually, actions will have consequences. So I'm going to ask, I don't think it's going to work out very well for them. I think it's going to backfire because it's just going to be, it's almost like that step too far blatant. That one step too far and then the whole house of cards comes falling down. It's like if you're, trying to steal it on behalf of their Russian overlords. Let's have a look. Will this, and on the back foot trying to defend, so we've got the 2 sevens here. On the back foot, defending the situation. It's a blatant attempt to steal. Does this mean Texas is going to turn purple or blue? I would put money on it actually, with Beto it actually being blue. It's just all the gerrymandering. Back in the Beto election, a lot of us were picking up that Beto would win, and I would put money on him actually doing so. Okay. Page of Wands. Looking at it's almost like a new beginning. It's almost like a wake up for some of these people. It's like, my goodness, what is it's going to take you to wake up? Page of Wands. Articulate orators pointing out this plan to win a false victory. But it's not going to work. I'm just going to go like that. It's not going to work. You've got the Page of Swords, the youth of today. They're over it. They know their friends. There's going to be a young person coming out. It may not even be Jasmine Crockett. There's going to be a young person out that's really going to point this out, be a powerful orator, a powerful speaker, because the young people, they're about unity. They're about, my friends in school, come in every shape, size, and creed, it's just. And it is shining a light in the dark. And 5 of Wands, and then we have the King of Cups and the coming together with this King of Cups energy. There's a sense of betrayal by those in charge. And yeah, it was be careful what you wish for, because democracy will win out. And big stick on the bottom. I think this is going to backfire on them badly. Badly. So it may not go blue, but it'll definitely go purple. Okay. To now. Not 25. I'm going to do Speaker of the House and President, and I'll do it in a separate election. Separate reading. Okay, catch you shortly. Bye-bye.